gonna send him the
Oh,
link.
sweet. Yeah.
It's Sean Gordon. He was the other dude that bubbled. So.
Oh, nice. All right. All right. So I think we're live. So, folks, if you're tuning in here on YouTube or on Facebook, we are now live for the actually now final table. There were 2 tables, but we're actually down to the last 9 here for the float the flop quarter K. So let's see if we can get this blown up for everybody. Here we go.
What the hell just happened here? I missed that.
So actually, yeah. So what happened is, Jason got it all in, and he obviously was no good with. I think he had ace 9. It looked like, or something like that. I don't know. I didn't quite see it, but
yeah, I must have seen something else. I saw like 10 high.
Yeah. All right. So I guess in Poker Stars, there's no way to actually make it take up the entire screen.
What I'm gonna do is I have it like side screened, so I have like the volume settings all good, and then I put the screen up separate in like the actual thing, and then I'm gonna share the link. Did you post the link?
I did, but that won't that actually won't work because then it'll stop broadcasting this.
No. I'm gonna share the link, so like hopefully some people.
Oh yeah, the YouTube link. Got it. Yeah.
Word. All right. So
how did you end up bubbling? What was the story there?
I bubbled ace-6 to queen-4. I was down to like, I don't exactly remember. It was like 4 or 5 bigs, but I had to get it in. I was the shortest stack, and I was actually trying to fold into the money because there was 4 or maybe 5 stacks, all that were within like 5-10 big blind range, but like had to get it in.
So this was kind of one of those, like, you're super short and you know that no matter what, somebody is going to call you because basically they don't have to risk a lot to try to knock you out of the tournament, right? If they've got 30, 40
Kevin's the chip leader, who is absolutely crushing it right now. He had like probably close to 400K at the time, so he was very, very deep. He was probably close to 100 blinds deep at the time, so yeah, he was calling me with any 2 pretty much.
And what I want to do for the folks that don't know who everybody is, I want to do a mapping of
yeah, let's do that, because
which people are which.
Yeah, I know
so
2 people at this final table.
so I know Kyle Rem 11 is Kyle Rimillard.
Okay.
Kev Debo, I believe, is Kevin DiBattistio.
Yep.
Chris C107832, I'm not sure. JLB Gamer 82 is Jason Lee Blodgett. Brendan BL10, that should be easy to figure out, right? It's probably some guy named Brendan, but I don't know exactly who.
I would think so.
And then let's see. PK All Day 76. I should know who he is, but I can't remember. And then Johnny Sport Coat. Not sure. And the last one.
Johnny's made a few final tables recently. He's been on a couple that I played. Yeah. So he's short, but he's a solid player.
So I'm going back through the list that Corey posted to see if I can figure out who so PK All Day is PK, it says. So I know who it is. It's Pete Kale, Khale, I think is how you spell his last name.
Did you post the link on the registration thing, like the float the flop thing? Oh wait, it
should be there.
Actually, oh yeah, I see your post here now. So
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, there's actually 11 people viewing in now, which is cool. So
how do you see that, or is that just on your thing?
I see. Yeah, I see the number of live viewers. I think because I'm probably logged in as admin.
So people are watching. Cool. All right.
Yeah. So you basically bubbled out with kind of like you got to get the chips in, and then Brendan BL10 by the way is Brendan Donovan. So we've got that one, and then trying to figure out who. So the last Johnny Sportcoat, Mike Cutts, and Chris C. are.
I think Mikey Cutts is Mike Siofi, Tori's brother, potentially. It might be. I'm not sure.
It is. It's Michael Siofi. So
yeah,
Mikey is
he got really lucky on me, but I'm not really lucky, but like kind of.
Do you know if so? Michael Kiofi, Tori, and Paul, are they all brothers or?
I don't know. I actually know Tori from his band, so it's kind of funny. Like when I saw him playing the first time, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I've known you for like years, and like we didn't like make the connection that like, you know. Yeah. So that's cool.
And then so let's see. I'm getting a couple more people pinging me names here. So Corey just said that Johnny Sportcoat is Matty Peterson.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I saw that. And so he's all in here.
Just this one last guy. We got to figure out who he is.
Does he get called?
Oh, here we go.
No, he doesn't get called with 3 high.
That's one of those.
Link, but like, it's not happening. I don't know.
That's one of those crazy hands where if somebody has a lot of chips, they might be like 3-2. Yeah, I'll call. Why not? See what happens.
I don't think that's one of the hands they call with. I think that's like bottom of range, and they just probably fold.
Yeah,
especially at a final table.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it looks like I forget in this how many people are being paid. I think it was 12 spots, right?
Sportsnut. Yeah, I paid 12. Yeah. I literally stone bubbled in 13th, so that was
So based on, let me see if I can find
Sportsnut.
I'm gonna find the payout numbers and then put those up on the screen for folks. But
I think they're guaranteed $750 right now, maybe.
That sounds about. That sounds about right.
$750 for final table, yeah. All right.
Or actually, so 750 was 9th place. They're now guaranteed 1,000.
Oh, I missed somebody go out. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Jason
so went out at $1,000. Nice.
In 9th. So let me see if I can figure out a good way to throw this up on the screen. We'll use Notepad. Oh, that took a lot more space.
Anyone still in here got in from the satellite. So they would have a massive return on their $50 or $60 investment. I don't recognize any of these from the. Actually, I think my buddy Sean was saying that Kev got in via satellite. So if he takes this down, that's going to be a nice return for him.
Yeah, no, that would be amazing. Satellite in for $50. So.
For some reason, I can't get this link to post. Oh, maybe now it is.
So the last person we couldn't figure out who exactly it was, that is Chris Casea.
No idea. So, a lot of these people, I'm assuming, are New Hampshire people. So I don't know many New Hampshire people.
Yeah, there's definitely it's going to be New Hampshire heavy, just based on who's in the group and stuff. But I think there's a good number of people that are Massachusetts. So where do you live?
I'm Southern Mass. So.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of these people I don't know personally from playing. I have only played in New Hampshire a few times. I mostly play at Foxwoods.
And now, of course, with Encore too, you've got to basically drive past there, get up to New Hampshire, so you're probably less likely to go, right?
Yeah. When I played in New Hampshire, I really, really liked Chasers. That room was really cool. The action was really good. Just had a great vibe. The other rooms, not really a fan of personally, but
Well, if you get back to New Hampshire, so the Seabrook poker room that used to be like an old dump is now actually a very beautiful, really renovated. They spent, I think, upwards of $3 to $4 million, if not more, to just revamp the place. So it actually is probably, from a facility perspective, now like the nicest place in the state.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like. I don't think they were even starting renovations when I was up there, but wasn't really a fan. I think they had like two tables running when I was up there, and then they're really, really awful structure. They had they have $100K tournament that it was like $80 or $100, and I played it thinking it would be a really good structure, but I think the blinds were like 6 or 8 minutes. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about, but
Oh
uh,
yeah, it's like a super crazy turbo.
colossal or some shit. Yeah,
Right. And what happened is they bought out the nearby poker room that was in Hampton Falls, so they're now merging.
God,
And
why can't this
eventually,
host?
when tournaments get going again, I think they're going to be looking to basically come up with kind of a revamped tournament schedule, because the folks that played a lot at Hampton, they kind of preferred a different style of tournament to what Seabrook ran a lot.
Yeah, I mean the tournaments at Hampton are really well. I've never played one, but like I've seen them posted about obviously frequently, and they're really good structures. They're solid, solid. Maybe I can do it this way. Yeah, I'm trying to get this link to post, but it doesn't seem to be happening here for me. Yeah, so we're not seeing a ton of action here yet. I mean, I would assume that people are going to be pretty cautious out the gate, with these page jumps.
And
Pretty.
also, you have a lot of people that are sort of close in terms of their stack sizes, right? So, I mean, you've got kind of the bottom end having Peterson, Johnny Sportcoat, but you've got two people next to him. So you've got Pete and you've got Brendan, both in that kind of low hundreds area. The only person who I guess is way ahead would be Kevin,
Mhm.
or sorry, Kevin DiBattisto. He's got over 500,000 chips.
Right. Yeah, and I think this is a big thing that people don't take into consideration. If you have a big hand, you don't necessarily want to go crazy when there's a stack with, what are the blinds at? 8K. The guy's got 7 blinds. So, like, you really don't want to be busting a 200K stack right now because, you're in the middle of the pack. You don't want to be busting right now. So, I think it's something I've noticed a lot. It's something I've been trying to improve on. One of these tournaments about maybe a month ago, I was coming into the final table third in chips, and I had a straight, and the guy had a bigger straight. It was like a 10 made a straight, and then he had queen 10. And I didn't fold the river to his, his re-raise. I thought, oh, we'll just chop and whatever I call. And, looking back at it, I was like, maybe I should have played the hand, a little more cautiously because I was third in chips at the time. There was no need to, play a huge pot with this guy. And, it's especially a tournament like this where the jumps, are, $250, $500. You might be looking at, a mortgage payment for some people, or I mean, some of this money can be pretty significant.
Yeah, I mean, for
I
some
don't think
people, this would
anyone's
be
going to
like,
complain about making $1,000 in a day, no matter how much they're
right.
making, unless they're Jeff Bezos or something. But yeah,
Yeah, and it's funny. If you look at the jump between our top two spots, right, that's actually a 2K jump right there, right, which is more than the rent for well, depending on where you live, I guess more than the rent for some folks. If
Sure. Yeah. I mean, this is great.
downtown Boston, it's half your rent.
Yeah, for real. And yeah, I mean, shout out to Corey. I mean, this thing got 96 people today. Like, that's incredible. And I mean, I know a lot of people going to be the satellite, probably maybe a third of the field. So I was hopeful this morning that this would get up to 50, 60 runners, but 96, that's incredible. That's, you know, a 24,000 guarantee. I was kind of on the fence about playing today. I mean, I was probably going to play it, but when I seen, you know, 60, 70, 80, 90 people, I had to jump in. Like, that's great. And, you know, this is a deep stack, you know. That's why I had faith in you, Matt. I thought, you know, this is a nice deep stack, but
I know, and you know, so
yeah.
I was being called just very wide early on in this tournament, which I guess, you know, a lot of people look at them, they're like, oh, I have 600 big blinds, so when somebody raises, you know, 7-8 big blinds to open, might as well call and take a shot at it. So, you know, you raise with pocket queens, and of course the old 7-8 offsuit decides that they're going to call and they're going to chase down the flush on you. So Sportnut82 just chimed in to say, let's go me, because he's rooting for himself. I don't know who that exactly is, but good luck to everybody, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I have a vested interest in one of these players, so yeah.
So I had a vested interest in Tim Fisher, who he's one of the top like 15 players in the state of New Hampshire. Unfortunately, today he exited this thing in 66th place, so not exactly where I was hoping he'd wind up.
No, definitely not. I mean, and it's funny you said that you were getting called a lot. My table on the early going and even later into the tournament, from my experience, really saw a lot of discipline on this tournament. People were making some pretty disciplined folds. There was a 5-bet pot early on, kings against aces. Board came 7 high, double paired, and kings found the fold. The other guy had aces. There was queen high flush to ace high flush early on. Not many chips got in somehow. Just really disciplined. I think people realized, like, you know, kind of what I was saying is you don't have to go broke early. I mean, big hands are going to happen, and there's plenty of time to recoup and stuff. Actually, JLB, what is his name? JLB Gamer, was it Jason?
Watch it, yeah.
Yeah, man, I would not be surprised to see him take this down or chop it at the end. He got into so many big hands and just folding over and over pre-flop. He folded jacks, queens, ace, king, I think. He was just every time. He was the one that actually had the aces and kings hand. Most players, maybe myself included, would have went broke there. I mean, it was a 5-bet pot, but it is kings against aces. It's tough to get rid of them. He found the fold correctly, and he's at the final table now. And that guy was out a long time ago. And yeah, he's never played with him, I don't think, in person, but from what I've seen in this tournament, very, very solid. So definitely looking to see what he does at this final table. We see Kevin increasing his chip lead to 600K. You got someone else in here?
No, that was me. That was me making the mistake of pulling up the link to the YouTube to send to somebody and then having it basically cause an echoing to go on.
Oh, so it looks like Sportsnut might be Jason, because I just got the message. She said, "Bro, I folded queen, queen, and king, king." So yeah,
wow.
Yeah, he had the kings against aces, and then the queen, queen hand, I believe, was 4-bet pre-flop, a 4-bet jam. Jason had 3-bet, and someone 4-bet jammed, and he tanked and folded queens as well as jacks and tens. He folded more hands than I can count. It's incredible that he's still here and not in the showers, as they say. But yeah, he played solid.
It's so when you exit in like a live tournament, right? It's like, oh, he's out. He's headed for the parking lot, I guess.
Oh, we got a hand here, Matt. We got under the gun open. They're obviously not holding. Jason knows that they're not folding, so he's obviously going to have the 9s plus ace queen type hand. And this is weird. I didn't expect this behind.
Well, this move all in, I think, he's got to have some sort of strong hand to basically make that.
Yeah, I mean,
bet all in.
He opened off of just over 10 bigs under the gun, so basically saying that he's not folding.
Right. And he is called. It's ace.
Wow. Ace jack.
He's behind for sure.
And
he will exit this tournament. So Cahill is out. Ace jack, no good against pocket kings. Now, Brennan Donovan is saying he actually folded queens, which is crazy there. But
yeah, I don't know about that.
You can see a scenario where you're essentially saying, you know what, you're basically with queens, right? You've got to put your opponent on having ace king or kings or aces and say, I'm going to fold because best case I'm coin flipping.
I mean, it's what I said, kind of. I guess maybe he's thinking the short stack, but I mean, you got queens, you got to put your chips in. That is just crazy.
And that would have been, but if he does get it in there, that's a big
he loses
for him and a big pickup for
he's got
Jason.
10 bigs.
Right.
What's that?
It would be a huge pickup for Jason, right? Because he
field day.
Yeah, and now we have an all-in from Sport Coat.
Yeah.
So and actually everybody folded. So he only shipped about 6 big blinds, and they all folded. So
yeah, I mean, at this point, no sense doubling him up. He's not going to call with 3 high if whatever he had. I mean, if he has a marginal hand, then he's probably going to call. But based on the fact that he has just under 400K. But yeah, I mean, we're looking at 2 short stacks, a large stack, and then the other. Well, we got 3 in the middle, so it's. Like I said, these short stacks are going to look to make their move soon, and be pretty crazy to see one of these 200K stacks get it in. Actually, with I forget if it was 15 or 16 left, Kevin got in a big pot. Someone had flopped 2 pair. He had flopped top 2 pair. It was like ace queen jack, I believe. Kevin had ace queen. Other person had ace jack. They had enough chips that they could have, got to the money, but you flop 2 pair, it's hard to get away from. Okay, so Jason is saying he's played with me at Foxwoods, which I'm sure he has. If you've played at Foxwoods, then they've probably played with me. I suck at remembering people, so. Let me see if we can float the file.
So I think some folks are saying, hey, they can't watch the stream because it comes up saying restricted mode. I think what's happening.
You have to copy and paste the link. If you do it on your phone, it works, because I have that issue too. If you just click the link, but what you have to do is you have to copy and paste it already. Or actually, Corey just said it. It's you go to your YouTube settings. And
okay. I thought it might have been because YouTube was saying like you can only watch poker streams if you're 18 plus now. Because I heard something about that where they were restricting the poker channels, but maybe that's not it.
I'm gonna send it out right now.
So looks like we've got up to 21 people here going.
We're gonna have a few more.
Hey, our favorite fellow in the local poker community's joined on, Mr. Chris Paolino. So
awesome.
It's interesting. He is not playing today. So I don't think he entered the tournament at all, but could be for.
So. We have a big hand here.
Oh yeah! Wow.
We have an open
and an all in.
Oh, the chips are going in.
And that's an all in for about 220,000. So
this is what I was saying. He's got a holding. Obviously, he's not going to ship it in light with 2 stacks there and $250 to $500 pay jumps. I mean, he shouldn't be. This is kind of weird. When he raises, he should know that he's gonna likely get it in or not be re-raising there. Although it is cut off versus buttons, so maybe he thought he was just raising light, and this is a weird spot for Kev, I guess.
Yeah.
I expected a snap call, or not a tank here when he raises to 100K, and he's got 200K behind. Interesting spot. He folds. Wow. And
Yeah.
I guess it was a good call. It was a good call.
And for Chris Casea, he was certainly not shipping it light. That's for sure.
Okay, he had pocket tens. All right. So
I think pocket tens. I could find a fold there because I think again you're probably looking at a coin flip scenario at best.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sizing wise, it kind of sucks. I believe the open was to like 20K and he 3-bet to like 100K, maybe just 3-bet to 70 or 60, something a little smaller. Yeah. Well, we have an all in and a call.
Well, that was a light.
Well, no, it's blind on blind, so it's completely fine.
Yeah, I mean, and Sportco very low on stack size, right? So I mean, he's got two suited Broadways, two connected Broadways, suited connected Broadways, right? So
your number one fan Slice here asked how you did in the 250.
All right, so it's funny. I think he's trying to troll me, but he's actually not really trolling. So, if folks want to see the results here, I got to scroll down, unfortunately. But I exited in 95th place. It was not a good tournament day for me. So I was drawn out on a few times. I got it in with pocket fives with quite a short stack. Got called by a hand that was slightly behind, and that hand drew out the winner. So
yeah. So this pocket fives hand, how many blinds did you have? You said you were short, but how many blinds did you have?
So I wasn't super short. It was more that. So I had about 60 big blinds, but the average stack was over 200. Something.
Oh my god, you got 60 blinds in with 5 in that?
Well, here's what happened. So I opened with a raise. I opened with a raise.
Okay, well, let's go through the whole hand. So you have pocket. What position are you in?
So I'm in late position, right? So I decide, you know what, I'm going to raise this hand. So I make the raise.
How much did you raise? 3x?
I raised something like 9x actually because I was getting called so light. I figured might as well size up.
Here's your problem, Matt. If you're getting called light, 5 doesn't play good post flop. So why would you raise bigger? Just raise smaller, hope you get more calls and hit a set. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's actually that's a good strategy, right? Because
it's not bad.
you're gonna get more calls and potentially get more value or get somebody to stack off essentially with ace king, and the flop comes down king 5 deuce. They're gonna like ace king.
With your smaller pocket pairs, there's no point raising, there's never a point raising 5x anyways in a tournament, but you definitely don't want to be raising, 9x. Your smaller pocket pairs are going to benefit you more getting calls because you're going to get the most value out of them when you hit a set. Actually, speaking of pocket fives, the hand that got me back in this tournament, I was 28th out of 31 left, and I was super short. Chipped up a little bit, and then had pocket fives on I min raised. I got 2 calls, and the flop came 5, 6, 7 with 2 hearts, and I got led into. I jammed for about 15-ish bigs. Other guy folded. He had pocket 4s, and I got a call from pocket 8s, and we held and more than doubled up because of the action pre-flop and the blinds and antes. So, I mean, a hand like that, pocket 5s, I want to hit my set, or I basically want to get out of there. It's a very, very easy hand to play. Say I had pocket 5s on this board, ace 10 deuce. I'm out of there, 9 times out of 99 out of 100 times. But, if it comes 5, 6, 7, even if they have the draw, I want to get my chill. Like I didn't love it, I wasn't like, oh great, he's got eights. He could hit a straight, but I'd rather have just a seven, and he's like drawing dead. But you got to get your chips in there. So like the smaller pocket pairs, I would not raise big because you're getting your most value from hitting a set. And there's like that hand. Pocket fours calls there. I'm stacked up, but that was Sean. He plays solid, and he knew that. He was drawing and didn't want. He knew I had a made hand, so he didn't want to get all his chips in there and bust the turn. We have it all in here, anyways.
Yeah.
From Mikey.
So this is Michael Kiafi. I think I can't pronounce his name correctly.
Yeah, I don't know how to say Tori in the last name, but
and I actually just got guidance on how to pronounce his name from someone. Hold on. So it is pronounced Kiofi, I guess. CH, like a CH type start. So.
All right. So.
But he ends up taking that one down. So.
So Johnny Sport Code, I believe, Matt Peterson has checked in. He said good stream. So we got a few people checking it out.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And so right now, the player that's probably kind of at the most risk has got to be Brendan Donovan, right? Yeah.
Is Brendan BL is Brendan Donovan? I believe he's a dealer at Encore, correct?
I think he might be, yeah. So he's down to 15 big blinds, though.
Yeah. All right, so what are we looking at? Where's these payouts? I can't find them. They're gonna be guaranteed what, 1,500 by now?
Right, top right corner of the screen. So yeah, they're guaranteed 1,500.
Oh, okay, I see it there. Yeah. And Brendan has moved all in for 15 bigs, and he has gotten called by Chris C. Oh well, he didn't get called; he got re-raised all in. So we've seen Chris have aces before. What do you think? You think he has aces again, Matt?
No, I don't think he probably. I mean, he could. If he has aces, that would be great for him. But
let's guess a hand. I'm going to say he has jacks.
I think it's at worst we're looking at probably a pocket nines plus, and then probably ace king, ace queen, maybe an ace jack in there. But
no, I don't think he has ace jack ever. Interesting spot here. Kevin's in the tank here. And like I said, if he calls here and gets hit, this is a huge hit to his stack. So, okay, he folds. Okay, he has kings. Yeah, that's good. Oh,
and of course he gets pushed out on immediately. No draw to the flush. No good. And Brennan picks up the double up with the ace queen.
Yeah, that's now Chris is our short stack here. Be curious what Kev had there. Obviously, well behind pocket kings, and I've noticed a lot of people say sorry when they hit their hand. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's cool though. I mean, something I've noticed about these games is they're very, very friendly for the most part. It feels like a literal home game of, I mean, a lot of these people have obviously know each other personally and have, played in New Hampshire and throughout New England and whatnot, but it's really cool. It's, for the most part, I've seen some people get, a little lippy in the chat room, and it's just like, come on, man. Like,
yeah. Well, the thing is, the people that you see kind of get a little lippy are the same people that do it in the live poker room anyway. So if you've played in New Hampshire a bit, you kind of expect them to do that.
So Debo said that he had jacks there, and he folded. So I'm just going to say nice fold there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I do have vested interests. Obviously, hope everyone plays well and does well. But me and Kevin swapped 5% in this, so my break even on this tournament is resulting in Kevin doing well here. So hopefully he continues to do well. And he's a very solid player. I don't think I played with him before, but he's playing solid. We got a re-raise here from the small blind.
And Bludget folds.
Yeah. I mean, Jason's going to be opening buttons, of course, with his stack size. But if he meets resistance and he's not holding something, he's just going to let it go.
Yep, and then
There's
Brendan,
no
Corey said Brendan does deal at Encore. I don't know if any of the actually Jason Blodgett deals in Manchester. I don't know if any of the other players deal anywhere.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not familiar with Chris or Kyle. Kevin just met today and got that nice little last minute swap. Mikey, I only know because he's Tori's brother, like I said, I believe. And yeah. But yeah, to get through a tournament like this obviously takes some luck, but I mean, there's definitely, these are skilled players. They didn't get here. But I mean, well, I'm going to bite my tongue and not say anything further on that. But no, everyone's playing well here.
Out. Nobody ever called from behind and flopped something nice.
I mean, Mikey won a big hand against me, but it was a situation that maybe he's not. Oh, here we go again. We have an open from Jason and a call from Chris, and Kevin 3-bets and takes it down back over 640K, 650K. Nice. You got to get lucky. I don't like the term "suck out." I mean, I guess it is what it is, but if you like, the thing is, I always see you say they get it suck out behind, but math in your favor if you get it in ahead. It might not be today, tomorrow, the week, the month, or even a year, but long term, you want those calls. And like I said, the hand that really knocked me down today was against Mikey. I had ace jack on a jack high flop. He led out of the big blind. I raised. He jammed. Of course, I called with top. He had king jack, and he hit a king on the turn. It was a 200K pot, and that's a suck out. And of course, I wasn't happy about it because I was locking up chips there, and but it happens. And if he's drawing to a few outs, then I want that call. I mean, that's 3 outs. The few is 3. I want that action every time as a massive favorite. But like, I get where people's sentiments are of it hurts getting quote unquote sucked out on, but
yeah. Do you think Bludget here is raising with basically any two?
What is small blind versus?
Everyone else is folded, right? He's in the small blind.
The small blind, big blind, a lot of people play it differently. I think the best way to play is obviously to mix up a strategy of having, flats and raises, both of weak and strong hands, and just if you're in the small blind and your big blind is overfolding, I'm raising 70-80% of my hands, because if they're just going to fold, if they're going to overfold, 10-9 heads up or Jack 10 heads up or something, then I'm going to raise with 8-3 off every once in a while if I'm noticing a pattern of them fold, because I'm just picking up chips there every time, especially where he's second in chips and he notices.
Yeah, he just picked up a small pot.
Chris is the shortest stack. So what's that?
He just picked up another pot there on the raising on the button too.
Yeah, and Jason's in a great spot there to continually raise small blind versus big blind, because Chris isn't going to want to tango as a short stack. He's just he's hoping one of these other guys goes out and he can get a jump. He's not going to tango with Jack 10 or whatever, blind on blind probably. So good for him. Slice says, am I having Fox Village with Charles? Fox Village with Charles, I was having those the day that I left, which was March 13th. So yes, I missed live poker. Oh, we have it all in here.
There we go.
853 swap. Just curious to see what he had raised the button here.
So yeah, there's
oh wow,
and a call, just a flat call, not a shove, and it's flush draw against flush draw with the better flush draw for Kevin. And wow, the worst hand won.
The suck out, Matt. The suck out.
Yeah, the suck out came.
Yeah, we don't want that.
I mean, I see there. I guess getting it in with the flush draw, not the worst move there. So.
I mean, there's no other way to. I mean, if he calls that hand, he's short. He's getting the chips in.
Yeah. So now, let me see for a second.
We only see gross sorry. It's just the camaraderie I've seen, and I wonder if Kevin's a little upset here and raising the button late. We'll find out.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kevin's not in terrible shape, right? He's got 52 big blinds.
No, he's
Chris 43.
Yeah. Of course, he's not in terrible shape.
Jason,
the right play by both. Oh, we get a read. Oh, wow.
Here we go.
Curious to what's going on here. Kevin had raised, Mikey called and let out. He could just have a weaker ace. We'll find out.
He has to fold here.
I mean, if he
now
has
Kevin's back to over 550K. And now the players are on break. So
yeah, that's good.
What's good now that they're on break, I can actually do a quick update in my Excel spreadsheet of their chip stacks without it changing every 5 seconds. So when do you think Foxwoods gets back open?
That's a good question. I mean, I've heard rumors both of Encore and Foxwoods for June 1st, which isn't happening because what the hell's today? Like May 7th, that's not happening. I've also heard June 15th, but I mean, I'm in no rush to go back to. I mean, I miss the casino and I miss live poker, but with all of this going on, whether it's dangerous or contagious or whatever or not, these games are cool. We're all doing all right here. I mean, I don't think the rush to live poker is going to be anything near what the casinos might think. And I think the casinos probably realize that too. This four-handed thing, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like
they're actually talking shop now. So give Kevin 4,500, everybody else 3,000 to end this thing now.
I hate it, but I mean, again, I hate it because Kevin's got 600K and there are stacks at 200K. I'd rather take a smaller drop and pay for the rest. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, this is significant money, but something that what was I going to say? Something that people should really take into consideration. I mean, I've been on, great ends of this a couple nights ago. I had 7 bigs in the turbo. The shortest stack had 5 bigs, and the other stacks had 15 and 20 bigs or 25 bigs. And it's like, we got an equal chop, a 4-way equal chop. And I was joking about it at the final table, and we were short. And I was just like, all right, yeah, let's chop. But not serious. And we 4-way chopped equal. And it's just like, you really shouldn't be doing that. Like, if you have a chip lead, you should be taking ICM or taking whatever cut that you feel is fair, Obviously, if you're a better player and you feel the other players are weaker, there's even less incentivized to be chopping it. But I hate the idea of a chop here. I mean, it's significant money probably that they're all considering it. I don't know. What do we got here? 3K I'd rather take. I'm in for whatever. I'm in for anything. So it looks like we might get some kind of chop deal, which, I mean, Kevin's getting 4,500, then he's not going to complain because that's, over second place money. But you might want to bust another stack or two. What are the blinds at? What are we at? 10K here?
Well, so I actually, if we were to look at an ICM chop, let me post this into the comments on the YouTube stream. But basically, I used an online calculator, and if you look at an ICM chop, first place would get around 4K. It would be 4110, and then you would see kind of the payouts be a little bit lower for the people towards the bottom. But
no, let me just comment on something here. I think Slice misunderstood me. He said ICM is bad for the chip leader. Rich, you were wrong about that. I'm saying that he's getting over second place money is good. It's obviously not good for him because there are, he's got, let's see, let me look at this again. I'm looking at the stack sizes.
I mean,
he's almost 600K, so he has the bottom 3 stacks pretty much covered. So it takes money. Yeah, Slice. Slice. I know it takes money away from the top. I'm saying he's not going to be mad about 4,500 because he satellited in for $50. That being said, obviously, these bottom 3 stacks. Let's see. Let me do some math.
So then they're proposing everybody gets 2,700, and then they play for the rest. So if they did that.
I mean, the problem, again, like I said, Kevin has the bottom 3 stacks covered, so he really should not be chopping, but if he wants to be a nice guy, I mean...
So if they did that, though, if everybody took 2,700, then that's 16,200 out of the prize pool, which means that they would have 3,300 left to play for.
I just, I mean, if I'm in the spot of, Jason, who plays really well, Kevin, who has a crush. I mean, he's got a 200K lead, and the bottom stacks combined are his stacks. So,
yeah, you can sum up. Actually, right, the 2 small stacks. If you sum it up, they're still short of him by about 200,000. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The bottom 3 have roughly 200K each. She has almost 600K. So the bottom 3 combined, actually.
And then the even chop value right now is 3,250. I don't think they're going to do that.
Even chop, I'm going to throw up.
I'm pretty sure that's not happening here, but his excuse that he didn't respond was that he had to take a leak. It's awesome. So I think they've got 2 different deals that they're thinking about. There's Jason's, everybody gets 2,700, they play for the remainder, and then there's the other one for Kevin to get 4,500, and the rest of them get 3K.
Yeah, I mean, it's much easier. You should just play. Love all the chop talk. It's like being in Seabrooks. I mean, I don't know, man. I think the thing is, there's a lot of scenarios where chops make sense, but this is, what are the blinds at? 10K. So we got 15 bigs, 23, 20 bigs, 32, 38, 50. I mean, there's playability here.
Chris now wants to keep playing, so it looks like they're going to continue on. So
wait, what? Oh, Chris does. Chris is second in chips, and again, like I said, Kevin, Chris, and Jason have been playing solid and have a chip lead. So, nothing against the other players; they're all playing well too. But it's like in the middle of a hand, it's Hampton Falls. Oh man, yeah. I mean. It's weird. I wish there was something. Maybe this can be looked into, but it's probably not possible.
The thing is, here's the big reason that Seabrook tended to have a lot of chops. Their prize pools were just awfully designed. So they would only pay 10%. You go to the World Series of Poker, they're paying 15%. The Borgata is 12.5%. This event was actually 12.5%. But they just incentivized chopping at Seabrook, and it was a given that almost every tournament somebody would want to chop, and then the guy who refused to chop, usually everybody would hate him and be like, knock that guy out next.
That happens at Foxwoods. So 2 things here, Matt. Kevin actually just made a comment, and he was like, I'm not against the chop, but I feel there's a lot of play left. So basically he agrees with my genius analysis that, hey, I have 60 blinds, 58 blinds. There's a lot of play left. And if I'm playing solid and people are nervous about these money jumps or whatever, let's see what happened here. He just folds
Queen Jack off. So I think also Paolino saying, "Hey, the most satisfying ever thing in an MTT is to deny the bubble pay." But the thing is, sometimes you deny pay to the bubble, and then you end up being the bubble yourself. And
I have a good story about. Well, it's not really a good story. I mean, I guess it is. So the most satisfying thing ever in a MTT is denying the bubble pay. So with what did we pay this damn thing? 12 people got paid. So with 15 left, we have an all-in scenario here again.
And
so let's see what happens.
Stack. So he's obviously looking to get this guy to stack off, which he folds. So
right. So I don't remember Mikey getting this short, but Mikey is short. So back to all right. So the bubble with 15 left. Somebody proposed taking 250 off of 1 through 6 and adding 13, 14, and 15 to pay 500 each. And it was instantly denied. I was for it at first because I was short, but then I realized I was like, wait a minute, this guy's proposing to take 1,500 out of the pool to play 3 more people. Like, even as a short stack, that's just asinine. That's like fucking ridiculous.
I would say there's the other factor, right? If this wasn't a no rake online thing, right? Oh, here we go. So, and it's a short stack now. Well,
yeah,
but if you were in, let's say, Foxwoods, and so some people don't like to pay the taxes that they owe on poker winnings, and to avoid having to avoid getting caught doing that, what they'll want to do is say, "Oh, let me figure out how to chop the prize pool down so I don't get 5,000 or more."
Right, and this is what I was saying about chops making sense. One of the biggest ones is the Super Stack Turbo, the 250, as well as the Big Stack 300. Those often make more sense to chop than they do to play out because I think it's what the hell's the amount? Whatever it is, 5,400 or whatever. So you could make 6K, and then when you get taxed, you're making less than you would make to chop at 4,800 or 4,500. So the math works out.
I'd say too the thing to think about here. So these players, I mean, you've got several of them, right? The only ones below. Let me actually.
20 bigs is Mikey and Brendan.
Yeah, the rest of them are above, right? So Kyle is
good size. Oh, he overbet. Yeah, 1.5x the pot.
Makes him fold a 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, should be folding a 3 set. So yeah, but back to what Slice was saying about the bubble pay, and I've been playing all day. Let's just give away money. We were on the bubble, and Adam Johnson was by far the shortest stack. Well, not really by far. It was me, Adam, and 2 other guys had like 6 to 12 bigs for the duration of the 15 and 12 spots, and Adam was short, and at one point he was the shortest stack and said, look, I don't want to pay the bubble at all. Like, I don't care if it's 3, 2, or 1. I want to play it out. And obviously he's a great player. He has a lot of cashes. And would be curious if he was watching.
And then he himself bubbled.
He had the advantage on the bubble that, or just putting that pressure on regardless. So you can't really put pressure on as a short stack, but just picking his spots that he wants to ride it out and just doesn't believe in paying the bubble. So that was interesting. If I'm short and someone offers to pay the bubble, I'm taking the money. Like that's me. Like if someone's gonna be like, I can play like Slice said, I've been playing all day. If I play for 6 hours and someone's like, hey, we'll pay the bubble, I'm gonna take it. But respect to Adam, he grinded it out, and I don't think he lettered, but he did. He cashed 11th, so. Good for him. He was super short and got the cash there for 500. But yeah, I mean, as far as paying the bubble, I mean, I think in a tournament, like this or something. This isn't the WSOP main. This isn't the fucking $3,000 buy-in. Yeah. This is a $250, which the 250 is a higher end tier for this. We've been playing.
What drew a lot of people in is the sorry to interrupt, but what drew a lot of people in is the fact that we had these satellites and people just fire 50. Yeah. And that's what makes I would like to see when live
More
poker gets
satellite.
back, more satellites, because
Yeah.
Encore actually did a really good job when they had those 600 tournaments doing the $120 satellites. I actually
Yeah, those are good. Those are good. See if we get any action here. We got small blind again. We were talking about small blind versus big blind. Kevin's going to be. Oh well, Kevin's out. So
yeah, he must have
not much pressure there.
he must have had
At the
nothing
big
there
stack,
to
short stack.
just fold like that. But
Yeah. So like you were speaking of before, maybe Kevin was just raising light, trying to see if he could just pick up some chips off. What's this guy's name? Kyle here. That increases chip lead. So he's almost to 700K. Like I said, I could see more negotiations coming in when we get down to 4 people here, and
right. Or even down to 4, because I think if Mikey or Brennan goes out, it doesn't really change things for everybody else unless they go out knocking. Like if Brendan knocks out Kiofi and then he's up above in the large stack. And then
so my
Rich, I
girl
think
just said I need a haircut. She was like, she's obviously watching the fucking stream, and I'm like, all right, yeah, we know I need a haircut. I need a beard trim. Like, I think it's more so than getting to Foxwoods. I want to just go to the barbershop and like fix the fucking mop that I got going. I mean, I always keep it long anyways, but like,
So conveniently, apparently, Mikey, being a barber, I hear if he wins this tournament, he's going to tip the TD by offering a free haircut.
That's tip a free haircut. I mean, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Mikey owes me a fucking year of haircuts because he should have been hitting the showers, as they say.
Yeah.
I don't even think. Yeah, he won't even have cashed. So good for him.
So my last haircut was it was basically in February, and then during this whole quarantine thing, I just got tired. Like, my hair was growing wild. I just tried cutting it myself, and it actually did not go that badly.
Yeah.
Brendan is not seeing that his hand timed out here. It must have been some sort of Poker Stars error.
What's that?
Yeah. So Slice is, of course, trolling me, but with more satellites are better, all caps all day. But the reality is satellites are better. So
no, it's true. Matt, I don't think that's a troll. I think that's. I mean, here's the thing with satellites. It allows people that might not have a chance to play the tournament, like you were saying, the $600 buy-in. Let's see what we got here.
So it's
small blind, big blind,
first blind.
You realize
the other thing too is, the antes are significant here. So, and
we got it all in. Let's see.
Wow.
Does Mikey get cut here? And at some point, you just got to go with it. If Mikey's got a good hand here, he's the shortest stack. Like, if it's the whole old age saying, if it's your time to die, it's your time to die. Don't be hero folding pocket nines here or something with 10 bigs. Like, just go with it.
And in 2 minutes, the blinds are going to jump up, and it's going to be 5,000 for the small blind, 10,000 for the big blind.
Oh, we're still playing for, okay, so we're 45-9. So, yeah, so back to the satellite thing. I think the biggest thing is, like, you were saying Encore did the satellites, the 120 or $100, whatever it was, for the 600. And it's like a lot of the casual players are not going to play a $600 tournament. Like, the regular poker players, $600 tournament, that's standard. They're used to it. They're playing them every time. But, like, there's plenty of people that are sitting at a 1-2 table or, are playing, smaller tournaments online that aren't going to just drop $600 to play a tournament, but they might want the experience. So they jump in the 120 satellite, 1 in 5 get a shot and they hit it. And, sometimes, they cash and they make a good score out of it. But it's like,
and it gives you, I think the other thing is that you satellite in, and maybe, you don't stand a great chance in the field because it's a lot of players with more experience than you. But the only way you get better is actually by stepping up a little and taking some shots. Yeah.
Yeah. Slice says it was a troll. The more satellites are better, but whether he's trolling or not,
No.
the
So
more
the thing with
satellites
him
are
is
better. We
probably
got an all in from Mikey. Kev's gonna
well,
call him. No,
no,
Kev's not calling.
he lays down 410 off. I'm laying that down too. But
Yeah,
the thing with
yeah, probably.
the majority of the
Miss
stuff he
Queen.
says is some sort of troll.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, looks like we're gonna have some action here. And another thing about the chop talk is, when the hell this thing started at 3 in the afternoon? The average of these have been going, 4 or 5 hours, and we're 9 hours in. And we could still be going a while. We got a raise here. The chips could get in here. We'll see.
Yeah. And
Could be a
Corey just
flush
texted
draw.
me to say another advantage of satellites: the casinos get to rake twice.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's a big pop for. Oh, not a big pop, but Kevin's now got a fucking massive lead. I hope he takes us down. A little
yeah,
biased here,
I
but
don't think he'll be happy if he doesn't take this down. I don't think he's going to be happy with himself.
Like I said, he got in for $50, and we got it all in here. And no call. I mean, I think everyone is happy at this point. You should be happy. I mean, you bought in for 50 or 250, and you're guaranteed what? What are we at now, Matt? 2K? The things aren't popping up.
It's 1,500.
Yeah, $1,500. It's a good payday. All right, so we got a raise here from Chris. Probably has aces again. And a fold. But yeah, I mean, everyone here should be happy with what they get. But it's like when you get to these spots, since Matt, you don't really get to these spots a lot. But like when you get to these spots, like whether I'm playing a fucking dollar tournament or a 109 or a $50 tournament, whatever. When I get to the final table, like I'm always happy to cash. But the thing is, like, that solid money is in the top three. So it's like, even if you get fourth or fifth and you cash for a few $100 in one of the regular ones, or you get 1,500 here, at first you're going to be like, "Fuck, this sucks," because first is 6,250, and that's a nice score. But it's like at the end of the day, when you look back, 1,500 is still a damn good return on your money. So,
and that's so this year too, like in terms of poker, I was going to try to play more of these larger series events, and that all got thrown off by COVID. But I started out the year actually going to Mohegan, final table, first place finish down there, and then I ended up cashing a tournament at Seabrook, and then I was at the Borgata Winter Open. Oh, here's an all in from Mikey. And so he's getting in with 3 people, or actually, he had 5 people to act after him here. 2 have folded.
Well, no, Kyle limped in under the gun, which is kind of weird off of his stack size.
Yeah.
And he was trapping.
And King. And he's drawing
Dead
dead now. Yeah.
Yep. So we're down to 5. Good game,
we're
Mikey.
Down to 5. So Mikey gets 1,500. We're looking at the next person to get at least 2,000. And so let me just update. So our chop value now, if we had an even chop amongst the final 5.
Matt, just take out the even chop. If they even chop, I'm going to break my laptop. So hopefully they don't even chop yet.
Well, I don't think they will. But if we had if that happened, it would be 3,600.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't happen.
Which I doubt, is going to happen here. So Slice saying, you realize playing poker doesn't make you better. What I'm saying is that if you want to improve at poker, you've got to. It's kind of like chess, right? You've got to actually try to play some people who have more skill than you, not just play a bunch of donkeys that you're better than and you can always beat.
I don't often agree with you, Matt, but yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to get better playing better players. Playing worse players isn't going to do anything for you. I mean, I think, the biggest thing is to have, let's see what we got here. So we got a small blind versus big blind scenario, and the small blind raises up. Kyle obviously has nice increase in chips to 3rd. Brendan calls.
Yep.
He doesn't really
Now,
have a
if
lot of wiggle
Kyle
room
were
on
to bet,
bigs. Oh,
there we go. The all in,
gold.
almost double the pot, and Kyle's going to fold.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I kind of like in his spot if he's going with his hand as the short stack, just jam or fold because unless he's trapping, then that's different. And I haven't seen any more chop talk. I don't think we're gonna see it. And I think the shorter stacks, probably realize, with Kevin having 700K, let's see, at 3-6. Yeah, Kevin's got so many chips. Like he's got, again, earlier he was talking about playability. He's got 58 bigs or 60. 70. He's got just a shade under 60 bigs. So, I mean, and coming into the blinds, but yeah, I mean, having 60 big blinds at a final table, like Jason Yu says, I had coronavirus. Okay.
Well, I guess he didn't die of it because he's chatting with us tonight on YouTube. So
Slice says, no, you don't. I think that's a response to the comments about what were we talking about with Slice?
we were saying if you want to get better at poker, you've got to try to play some people that are actually better than you and not just try to destroy the fish at the 1-2 table.
Trolling or not, I'd have to disagree with the great one Slice there because it's like we have a big hand again. We're cut off.
Well, from what I hear, his
button versus small blind again.
From what I hear, his poker skills are not that great because he's kind of stuck at the low stakes tables.
Well, let's see what happens with this hand, and then we can we get an 8-7-4 2 spade flop button versus small blind open, and
about a third of the pot here from Jason.
And he folds. I'm curious if button versus small blind. If Jason having a bigger stack, if Chris is just 3-betting the small blind, thinking that Jason is raising the button light at this point, or if he's actually having holdings. Obviously we can't see whole cards, so we don't know what his strategy is. But at a 5-handed table, button versus small blind, the range can be
right.
Anything. Yeah, so again, back to Slice here, saying, I agree with you, Matt. I think playing better people does make you a better player. My brother plays a lot. I have many good friends that play a lot, and we go over hands. And, I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong, which is a lot. I haven't played poker that long, so I have a lot to learn. And it's like having, these better players go over hands with. If you have questions, post them. Here are those you. Yeah, so I mean, having people to go over hands with. I don't see how. Slice, what is your argument that or counterpoint to playing and knowing better players doesn't make you a better player? Directly, no. If you don't take their advice, then no. If you continue to play the way you play and don't take the advice of the better players, then no. You can only ultimately improve yourself. Then yeah, I'll give you that. But you're gonna gain knowledge through playing. Like there's no question about that, in my opinion. Or really, I don't see how it is in fact. But everyone can think what they want there. But I mean, anything having experience in it, you're going to learn more about it,
Yeah.
So we see no chop talk, which is good. We have a 13K.
Well, here's an all in. So, and everybody folds.
And a snap.
I have a feeling that the chop possibility is not really going to come in until either Brendan gets his stack size, or actually Brendan and Chris, right? They either got to get their stacks kind of closer to the others, or somebody's got to get eliminated.
Yeah, and I'm curious how much. I mean, like I said, this has been going for 9 hours. Like it's where people are playing 4 to 5 hour tournaments. This is a pretty long tournament for some people, and they just want to go to bed. I don't know. Maybe some of these guys got to get to work Monday morning or something. But
this one was designed to run relatively long. But what else happened is that the turnout was really strong. So yesterday, you didn't
Yeah,
have
96
anywhere
people. Yeah, awesome.
right. And what happened is the bulk of people that signed up for this signed up for it in the 2 hours prior to the tournament running off.
Yeah,
Even
that
though it was
tends to be
posted, right, it was posted all week, but for some reason people waited till the last minute to get in. So here we see a raise from Brendan. It folds around with big blind. And we will see a fold.
All right, so we have another comment from your favorite person, Slice. He said, "Playing poker doesn't make you a better player. Studying poker makes you a better player." But on that point, while you're playing, if you're playing, to be better, you should be picking up things. I think playing is a form of studying because it's like while you play, you can realize, what mistakes you're making, what other players, what mistakes they're making, and what they're doing that you're not doing. So it's like we have another bet here from Kevin and a fold. So Kevin increases his chip lead here.
What do you feel about so when you think about like poker books and poker literature, are those valuable for people to read? Or what I've been told is some of the books, so like Harrington on Hold'em and the Theory of Poker are obsolete and won't help people anymore. Is that true? Or
how many poker books do you think I've read in full?
Probably 2, 3?
Zero.
Wow.
So and yeah, so here's my thing. I think there's just so with right now, like I said, I've only been playing poker for 5 years. First of all, that's one. Two is that like to pick up a book and sit down and read it. I haven't read a book in so long, and I guess that's a somewhat ignorant statement. That's not but I think there's just so much visual content that I learn better that way. So like I'll pick up Live at the Bike or Solve for Why Academy or Upswing or what else do I use? Jonathan Little, even though I don't really love his content.
Have you done the master class? I think Phil Ivey and
Phil Ivey's master class. We have another pot taken down by Kevin. Phil Ivey's master class. I literally just got master class like this week. Phil Ivey's masterclass, I'm 4 videos in, and it is horrible. It's like, I mean, it's not horrible in the sense of, who might watch it, but it's just basic stuff, man. Like, it's just not, I mean, obviously, masterclass is like a huge audience that, like, there's going to be people that have never picked up a deck of cards and played poker and are like, hey, I want to learn how to play poker because I've seen it on TV. So for them, it's good. But, like, the other thing and again, like obviously, Phil Ivey's one of the greatest of all time, but as a content person and educator, he's just super dry. Like he doesn't engage well. So it's like the whole thing of people making fun of Daniel Negreanu for his like, oh, loosey goosey and whatever. Like Daniel Negreanu is very like enthusiastic, so like I'm looking forward to watching his next because I'm engaged to it. I was literally falling asleep to Ivy, and like
that's the key with like online learning of anything, right? You have to have an engaging experience. So here we've got a decent sized pot here, right between.
Yeah, we get. I missed some action because we get off on a tangent, but what the hell?
Yeah, so
so we have a Jack 7 Deuce 5 board, 2 hearts.
Kevin checks.
We saw Kyle shut down
Kyle.
before the goals Kevin. So we'll see what happens here.
He checks back, and the 10 of hearts comes on the river.
See if Kyle puts a bluff in here.
Right. Ace 10 is going to actually be good.
Yeah, I don't really love the check by Kyle there. I think he might get called by a 7. I think it wasn't blind on blind, but I mean, I guess he's going to play fairly tight there, but I don't really love the check. I think he can go for some value there.
Yeah, no, so Kevin says awful play by him, but now we've got Jason raising. He's called by both Kevin and Kyle. check to Kyle. We've got the Jack 4-6 flop. And so I think your speakers, by the way, I think are echoing my voice back a little bit.
On my end? No, mine are fine right now. Everything's good with the volume.
Let me see if it's something on my end.
Slice is saying, "Oh, we have a raise here out of the small blind. Big blind. So we could. It's a pretty interesting spot here.
Yeah. This is essentially a check raise here, right? Because he waits for Lodgett to fire. Wow, Jason's all in.
So I'm wondering if Kyle has a straight flush draw kind of hand.
Or could he have a set? Could he have pocket sixes, pocket jacks?
I mean, the possibilities are endless. And Kev is thinking about it. Unless I have a monster here, I would get the hell out of the way if I was Kev. This isn't a time to
like a set. I think I fold.
Right.
No, Kyle's got a decision to make.
Because you could be up against.
So he has just enough chips that if he makes the call and loses, he's not out. But then he's basically down to like 2 big blinds.
Yeah, I mean it's essentially
his tournament life here. And he makes the fold. So Jason's going to pick up a nice stack here.
I wish there was a way to have hole cards, but I mean obviously there's not.
Yeah.
It's easier to comment what their thought processes might be in terms of the hand, seeing hole cards, of course. But we have an under the gun raise from Jason and a call from Kyle on the small blind. Well played, wanted to call, but not with anyone behind me. I'm curious if all right, so we see a Queen H6 rainbow. How many viewers we got? Are people still listening? Was it 12:30?
We're at 20 people here. So
guys, leave some comments. Tell us we're doing terrible or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Slice will chime in to tell us we're doing bad, I'm sure. He likes to do that sort of thing. So
it's interesting. Okay, Queen even. I've never done this before, so it's like, Queen H6, we see an ace on the turn.
By the way, if anybody is looking to get their haircut, apparently Revere Street Cuts at 312 Revere Street is Mikey Cuts 31's barbershop.
Are they okay? So are they open or?
That would be a great question. They may not be open due to COVID.
I don't think they're open yet. I don't think they can. So we can. Nah, from CT, don't play poker. Oh, so Kevin's saying, Brendan's talking about if ace king. Wow, that's a weird hand. Kyle just flatted there out the small blind with ace king. So playing super cautious. I would not be flatting there. Any of you go to Encore? I'm a dealer. So Kyle's saying he's from Connecticut and he doesn't play poker. He's just doing this because of COVID. And
so
he doesn't play poker,
he just started playing last month and is at the final table, apparently then.
Yeah, I mean that's the beautiful thing. Like it's a game that you can get lucky. It's a game that you can pick up the basics and learn. And I hope he plays more. I mean he's. I would not have known that he just picked this up. No. And 19 of the 20 viewers. All right, well, whatever. We're enjoying ourselves.
No, he's lying that 19 out of the 20 are him. He doesn't have.
There's got to be some other people. Yes.
But
Slice, the other person is my lady, so maybe she went to bed. She's not watching either. Anyways, no one else is coming. Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, but I mean, I would not be surprised to see Kevin play some more of these things. I would hope. I mean, if he's cashing and having a good time, and I think that's great. I was mentioning that to Sean. I feel like float the flop is a lot of regular poker players from New Hampshire, but as far as the Thousand Air group. I don't know if we're allowed to mention them, but the other
No,
guys.
they're cool. So
Well, they're
and
cool. I've known Sean forever, but I don't know if he. I hope he plays more. Sick troll, Rich. No, I mean,
there's a lot of overlap between the two groups.
troll.
So
No, I hope Kev plays more. I don't troll, man. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I always want more people to play, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. Like, it's a game that people can have fun playing, and like these, one of the first ones I played on here was the Thousand Air one. I think they had a $25 buy-in, and they started out getting like I think 80 people. The last one had 150,
yeah,
140.
those
You know?
Tuesday it's Tuesday and Thursday evenings, and they get like 130 plus people. It's crazy, right? That just
Yeah.
that many people are jumping into a Poker Stars home game, but um, the play in that can get wild, right? Because you've got everybody from like super tight players to super loose. It all depends on what table you get at. So this one here, we see Chris just flat.
Yeah. Again. Weird to be doing off of 10 bigs, just jam or fold. And again, maybe it's kings, maybe it's aces, and he's trapping, but I would. Okay, he bets here, so let's see what happens. Your problem with that, off of 10 bigs is, obviously if you're trapping, that's fine, but it's like, what happens if you got aces and the big blind is 10-3, and then just not the time probably to be trapping with 5 left, but I don't know. We see another raise out of Kevin. Kevin says in the chat here, so Kevin is listening, so that's cool. He says, no, Richard, I won't be playing more. I have 2 kids under 5. So that's cool. The kids will get a big wheel or a new bike or something. I don't know.
Sean,
there's
Sean
Kevin.
Morris.
There's always time. The kids got to sleep. There's always time for poker. But no, I'm glad that you're doing well. I'm glad we swapped, and I'm sweating this out with you. And hey, that's good. The kids can you can start the college fund or whatever. But no, in all seriousness, he obviously is playing.
Here's a race
very,
for Kevin.
very well.
He's opening 4x here.
Yeah.
Under the gun.
Yeah,
and everybody folds.
In terms of the raise sizing,
he had
pocket eight, so that's a hand that, like, in terms of the raise sizing, I don't mind a larger raise sizing, and I think it's something people don't always do. When you're chip leading and, you want to chip these smaller stacks down, I don't mind a larger sizing, I like it. So I don't know if he was intending that as a or just, eights is a vulnerable hand that he doesn't want to see a flop and make a small raise, but 48K is a good sizing there. I like it. We see a shove from Chris on the button. He's not limping this time.
Oh, all right. So interestingly,
we have comments.
No, and interesting. So Corey's telling me basically, if you look at where the members are in Float the Flop, the bulk of them are basically Greater Boston, New Hampshire people.
Yeah.
And then you've got probably the next closest being the New York area. And then we have a couple of people that are apparently in Nevada, a couple in Connecticut.
Yeah, so, we see it open here from Jason. We're going to see obviously a larger contingency of Greater Boston and New Hampshire with, the bulk of the people being invited in from that area. And Brendan's thinking about it in full. We have some comments. Jim says, Matt, I know you're deep into the New Hampshire. Do you have when the New Hampshire rooms will open up?
So, it's an interesting question. So last week, here's a raise from Kevin. And everybody
Sean's in here representing the Thousand Air Poker Club. Wish I could have gotten in this great event. Yeah, shout out to Thousand Air. They run great events as well.
And what's great is, there's so much overlap between Thousand Air and Float the Flop, but because each group can only run 3 tournaments a day with the Poker Stars,
we might see it.
There's more options because here's the all-in. So we saw Kevin raise.
He goes with a 3x
under the gun.
Raise here under the gun.
And then we see Brendan shove. And the action's folded back to Kevin. He also folds. So Brendan picks up that 97,000 chip pot. The question that came in from Jim. So I feel like for New Hampshire, the earliest we really potentially could get a reopen is going to be the beginning of June. They're looking at probably issuing guidance next week from the governor's economic reopening committee. They had a public comment. So basically, there was a proposal that the poker rooms put out, which basically said, "Hey, we're going to have like 4 people max at blackjack, 6 max at poker." That proposal got reviewed. There was a public comment session Friday.
I would love 6 max poker.
And they're taking comments by basically you can email it in until I think tomorrow, and then they're going to make a decision and put out guidance. So I feel like Memorial Day weekend is too soon to get the guidance out and implemented. So it's probably going to be looking at the beginning of June potentially at the earliest.
Another pot for Kevin.
So, yeah.
So we see in the chat here, I don't know if you have the chat up too or whatever, but Kev says he would open King Jack. Brendan says he had, I believe it says Ace King here. Ace King, yeah. So it was a good fold there. We see a shove by Chris. I think this one's getting called here. We'll see what happens, but I mean, I think this one's getting called. Effectively 12 bigs.
Based on Jason having raised here.
Under the gun.
He does call ace queen against queen 10. So Jason way ahead here. Flop comes jack 5. Jason's basically looking to dodge a 10. And he does not. Because the king gave him some extra outs there. Actually, the open-ended draw. And that draw hits. So Jason down to 348,000 chips.
Interesting spot. What did he have? 10 bigs? Okay.
I mean, yeah. That was a hand where Jason's way ahead, and Chris just has to suck out on him on the river there.
Yeah. And that's an interesting spot, too, because it now what it does for the stack sizes is Kev has 668K. And we see 3 middling stacks and a short stack. So, again, Kev should be looking to put some pressure on here as the big stack and continue to mount his lead here. What do we got? 319, 340, 372, 194. I'm making really simple comments here because I'm kind of tired, but definitely want to see how this plays out.
I think Brendan's suggesting some sort of deal might want to come in at this point.
Yeah.
But
so
the thing is, once Brendan's out, the chop. If somebody goes out here, the chop value goes to 4K.
I mean, again, nothing against anyone on the table here, but it might be tough for Brendan to get a deal here, but we'll see. Like I said, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. People might be ready to wrap up at this point, but.
So actually, according to Paolino, my voice is echoing. So I'm going to do a quick test on something real quick. I'm going to mute you for a minute.
It's fine, man. I mean, I don't know.
All right. So let me see if I'm echoing now. And I'm not. So Rich, it's just your speakers are probably up a little too loud or something. But do you have a headset by any chance?
I do not. I will turn my volume down. Oh, that turned it up. Okay. Did that fix it?
I think that did. Yeah,
Shit.
Yeah, that did it. That fixed it. All right.
Okay.
This is actually the most useful thing that Paolino has done in his life is help us fix the echo.
So yeah, Paolino, thanks for fixing the stream. Cool. All right, so we see a jam here from Brendan.
So Kevin's saying he wants more than second place money, which I mean, given his stack size, that seems pretty reasonable here.
Yeah. Now, is Corey gonna? I think I seen some. I mean, I want to jump the gun on these, but are these running twice a month or so? Do you know anything about that, Matt? Has Corey said anything?
So the larger ones, obviously, with running the satellites and stuff, take a little bit more work, but there might potentially be something coming up next week, depending on what works out with the scheduling. But next
Okay,
weekend
because
is
I thought I
holiday
had seen
weekend.
some. I thought I had seen some satellites, but I guess maybe not now in the thing. But yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool. Oh, we had seen another race here. Got a call. The chips are definitely probably getting in here. He has less than a pot size bet back.
And they're in. And it's called.
Okay.
And
Queen
we
King.
have
Oh wow.
wow. Basically, with the Jack 10 there against Queen King is good. And so now, actually, Chris is getting himself pretty close to Kevin. About 100K down, but that's only like 8 big blinds. Actually, the blinds just went up to 7,000, 14,000.
So Brennan is proposing an equal chop here of something.
No, he's proposing 5K to Kevin and then even for the rest.
Yeah, I don't see how that's gonna work out. But back okay.
Now Jason Stack Jason Stack is the shortest by far. He's down under 10 big blinds.
Kev says not a fan of chop after that hand, which I got to agree with. Jason would be.
Well, here's an all in for Jason now. So
all in from Jason on the button.
Big blinds all in. He has called. King Deuce is not looking good here.
Domination.
Yeah, he's going to be hoping for a deuce here.
Or a chop.
It is not good. So
good game, Jason.
Yep. So Jason lodge it out. He'll collect 2,000. So I mean, not a bad afternoon for him, right? To play poker and collect 2K.
No.
So
we see Chris take the chip lead.
Yeah.
With that pot. Sean Morris says, Matt, do we know how many qualified versus bought in? So instead of asking the intelligent person, me, he asked, I think the satellite had what, like 30 people in via satellite, something like that.
I don't have the exact numbers. Corey would. I'm hoping he'll jump on.
Yeah, I believe about 30 to 35 got in via satellite, which is great.
Yep.
Okay, so we see a proposal of 5K, 5K, 4K, 4K.
So does the math work on that? It actually does, I believe. Hold on. No, it doesn't.
Oh no! Now it's 5,533. Yeah, a little $1,000 difference for the last or whatever.
There's 16K left in the prize pool. So yeah, their chop value would be 4,000 each.
They're not going to equal chop, Matt. They're proposing the chip leaders get one pot and the other two get another pot.
Yeah.
So
And Kyle says no.
Wait, what?
He just said no.
Oh.
So interesting.
No, see that doesn't.
Kyle is the shortest stack, right? Yeah.
Matt, what are the payouts now? What are this? Yeah, and this reminds me of Adam saying he doesn't want to chop. I mean, some people like you, they want to play to win, but
sixth place is 62.50, second is 42.50, 3K in third, and 2,500 in fourth.
Yeah, so it's 25 and 3K. So Kyle is guaranteed third place money, is last in chips, and he wants to play it out. Okay, I respect it.
Maybe he thinks he can get a nice double up and then triple up, or I don't know. But
I mean, here's the thing. It's still pretty deep, especially four-handed, what would suggest to be
Yeah.
fair, Kyle. I think the proposal that he said, and then Brendan, see, what I said earlier, it's been a long day, and Brendan says, I'm tired.
So here's
So,
the breakdown. We had 66 people actually buy in direct and 33 come in through the satellite. So about a third of the field, exactly a third of the field.
exactly a third of the
Or-
field. Yeah, so that's solid.
Or not, sorry, not exactly. It was 63-33, so almost, or more than a third of the field, slightly.
Nice. Nice.
So,
nice. So there's 16K left in the pool right now?
right.
That's not bad. We see him. I'm curious to if Kyle's gonna say anything here. He's
So
maybe
he. Let me ask Corey again if he can jump on this thing himself too.
We have a break in 5 minutes. Let's play till then, and then we'll have time to discuss. Yeah, something
that's right.
that we should look into. Is there any way to pause the tournament to like?
Somebody asked that question earlier today, and you can't.
You can't.
There's no way to. Yeah, there's no way to pause it in PokerStars. So you basically you kind of have to chat between hands.
I mean, this is fine because it's deeper, but something it came up the other day when I was playing. I was the final table in the turbo, not the last one, but one of the other ones, and it's like if it takes 5 or 10 minutes to to get a deal situated, or not situated, a lot can happen in a turbo where you're already short, and it's like it's like. It would be good. I mean, it's not like it's $1 million, but it would be good to have a way to pause it. But it is what it is. So we see another comment here.
Again.
Brendan is going to work at 6:30. So, this is considerable money here, but they got to be up in 5.5 hours or 6 hours or 5 hours. So
he may decide to just get the chips in then at some point and say, hey, I'm either going to make this worthwhile to move up and stack or be done.
So Carl B has checked in. I believe that's Say No to Melf's solid player. He says, I think they've definitely been overvaluing the chip leader stack this entire time. I say no if I'm anyone, but chip leader to all these pay jumps aren't absurd or anything. I think they're definitely overvaluing the chip leader stack. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if he means it in terms of they're definitely overvaluing the chip leader. I mean, the chip leader, now Chris is the chip leader with 750K. I mean, I effectively think you have 2 big stacks and 2 small stacks. And I think those are the considerations to take into place. Is you have, let's see, just under 55 and 60 bigs, and the other stacks have about 15 and 20 bigs, a little over that, a little less.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I just say no to Mills. Okay.
Now, if we looked at the ICM, this is the ICM numbers that would come up. So I do think if you look at ICM, they probably were overvaluing the large stacks a little bit, but
yes and no, because I think these 2 big stacks have so much, like, I can't see how Kyle didn't take the deal. Like, it's a pretty solid deal considering we see Kyle open.
Now I wonder here if somebody re-raises, does Kyle have to? Does he have to get it in?
No, absolutely not. I mean, absolutely not. And he's not going to get it in with another short stack, especially. There's a I think now there's a chops. They were talking about 6-handed. What do I know though? The 6-handed chops are just ridiculous. Like at that point, Kev had so many chips. But look, who was it? What was his name? Chris here, the ace odds. Yeah, he made a nice comeback, and he's going to be getting a much better payday. I just don't like chopping, with a ton of people. It dilutes what the game is. Like you have to bubble sometimes. Sometimes you stone bubble.
Yeah.
And sometimes you win, and sometimes you chop it.
So this sucks. Look who just got disconnected. So Chris is.
Oh wow, yeah, you get disconnected at the end.
So I don't know if that's.
Matt, remember that happened? Remember that happened to me and your satellite? I think it was your satellite, right? And I ended up busting it when Kim and Dave got into their the 300 or whatever it was, the 250. That was I didn't even disconnect. My freaking charger wasn't attached to the computer, and my laptop just died. So that was fun. And then I went out kings to jacks. So they almost gave Debo more than second place money. Yeah, I mean, to Carl's point, they almost gave Debo more than second place money. I proposed something the other day because if somebody has, like, again, these aren't made to make anyone rich. Everyone can cash in it and make a few bucks. So I proposed something the other day, which I normally wouldn't, but someone was chip leading, and their chip lead was almost equivalent to the remaining stacks. And I said, we can chop the rest of the prize pool. And this was a turbo. So I said, we can give them first and chop the rest of the prize pool. And it got shot down, which is understandable. But it's like, if they have 1.5 million and the rest of us combined have 1.7, and it's a turbo, like, we're playing bingo. Like, the lockup at that point was like $125, and the chop value was like 300. So it was like, I thought it was an okay idea, but it didn't go through. We see Kev take down another pot. Chris is still disconnected, and they're on break.
So
wow.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if it could be like PokerStars crashed, or maybe his internet went out. I don't know.
So we see a comment of, and this might be to Kyle's joy to read. Brendan says he's fallen asleep. Let's work out a deal. Chris is disconnected. Here's a problem, Matt, that I'm really curious. Corey might want to get in that chat real quick. Chris is first. No point with Chris disconnected, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're talking about discussing a deal, but Chris is chip leader or second in chips right now?
Chris was at 7. Yeah, no, he is the
Chris
leader.
is at
755,000. Right.
Yeah, so Chris is chip leading, and Brendan's trying to make a deal here, but obviously to have a deal situated and go through, we need full unanimous decision. So really curious what's going to happen here. I hope somebody can get in touch with Chris, because otherwise they can't make a deal, and this could go to 4 in the morning. Kind of crazy.
So actually, let me recalculate the ICM here, because it was for the prior hand. So this is the updated ICM numbers for them if they were to look at doing an ICM chop.
That's not happening.
So I mean, isn't an ICM chop essentially
Chris is back, so we're gonna have discussion. They're hardly splitting third and fourth. Not a great deal for bottom two.
So isn't an ICM basically the fairest way to chop this, though?
No, because here's the problem, Matt. Two things. First of all, Sean Morris in the chat says they're hardly splitting third and fourth. Not a great deal for bottom two. So here's where I think Sean makes a great point. Again, I wasn't really thinking this. Kyle's the shortest stack. It doesn't really incentivize him to take the bottom money because, like you said, if he doubles, he has a shot at 6K or 6,250 rather. It doesn't make sense for him to take 3K right now because that's what he gets whether he's out next or not out next in a chop deal. So as far as being the bottom stack, it's kind of a nothing to lose scenario for him. Whether he doubles or goes out, you know what I'm saying? So he has. I don't think he's going to take this deal, but we'll see. Let's do a deal, Brendan. What are you guys thinking, Chris?
Hearing Carl B saying the final 6 deal talk was tilting him. It's funny. But
yeah, I mean,
so
I get Carl's point because it's a little frustrating to see, deals being made that aren't fair. But at the end of the day, if they're all there, then they can make that. So here we go. There's 16K. So again, they're trying to split first and second, and they're trying to split first and second, and then split third and fourth. I'm willing to chop 47.50 and 32.50 again. Like, it's gonna be tough to make a deal here for them because I just think like, Kyle, you okay with that? You guys can chop if you get heads up. Nope.
I mean,
So
I might propose something like
these guys are gonna play it out.
I might propose something like a 4,500 for the top two and 3,500 for the others, but
Yeah, I don't think that's fair. Just with the chip advantage again, you know.
or maybe you look at
I hope I'm not out of line saying that. I mean, and I really respect Kyle that he wants to grind this out. I mean, some people would just take the money and go. He's fighting this. He's ready to play. I guess Kyle doesn't have work in the morning, and he's ready to. What's the offer on the table? I don't think there is an offer yet, Kyle. But
it's hard to figure out, like, in terms of. So here we go: 47.50, 47.50, 32.50, and 32.50.
I don't. That's pretty close. I don't think I wouldn't.
So then Kevin says he won't take that. So
yeah, I don't think that's fair. I don't know. I mean, again, the problem is there's no middling stacks. The problem is why would the big stacks? Again, I hope I'm not out of line saying this, but I don't see why the big stacks, would take less than they can potentially make. The same as I don't see why Kyle would take 32.50 when he's a double up away from playing for more money. So
Sunday, June 6th, there's going to be a 300 from TPC, and ironically, so that weekend in June, I was supposed to be going down to the Borgata, except that got canceled, so I may end up firing at that. So.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully next season, hopefully they run some satellites too.
Danielle just said they are.
So the bubble was especially painful because I fired 3 satellites and the tournament. So I was in for 250, 50, 50, 350, 62.50 in your satellite. So I was in this thing for 412.50 and I bubbled. So not fun. Carl says he had to focus on his game. Carl, I wonder, did you, Carl, if you're still here, did you cash Alyssa's tournament or were you playing something else? And Danielle says, oh, that's what you just said. They're running the 300 main event on June 6th. So that's with many satellites. Okay, great. So that's good.
Here comes a raise from Kyle.
And just to be honest, it's going to be hard to get a fair chop until we get 3-handed other trips given out. So we're gonna see this grinded out here in 4-handed play. I'm glad my tournament. I thought my tournament started at 11 tomorrow, but it starts at 1, so that's good. So we see a raise here. We'll see if the play loosens up a little bit. Where people.
This is an interesting one. There was a raise on the button, and then they both called. It was a min raise, though.
Yes.
And now he ships. So this is if he's called. Nope, they both fold. But
no, it folds. There's that risk there. Yeah. And I mean, your whole play to win is in full effect here because it doesn't look like we're getting a chop. So, we might see Kyle and Brendan making some moves here just to pick up 2,500 or get their double up. I'd love to see a big bluff get shown. That'd be cool. Yeah, so these guys all got to be up early. So, Kyle hasn't said that.
So I've done the go down to Mohegan and get up in the morning to drive into the office in Boston deal. It's not that hard. You go to bed at 2:30 in the morning, you wake up at 6, and you just have a couple of coffees.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm not a morning person, so But for the past week, I've been getting up. I've been doing so. Matt, you're into the stock thing too, right?
Yeah, so I mean a little bit of crypto stuff, more so on the stocks than the cryptos.
Yeah. Yeah, I downloaded Robinhood a couple weeks ago. I had some extra savings, and Solon, you should play the 300.
Yeah, I might do it. In fact, if I play the 300, I might I'm going to play to win, but I might give people the opportunity to get action, and I know that Chris needs to make some money. So
Yeah, maybe he'll give you money to pay back what he owes you there.
yeah, he might buy action so that way if I win the tournament, he can pay his debt. And everybody once again folds.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, are you leaning that they're going to tighten up, or are you leaning that these chips are going to get in?
And, I could see between Kyle and Brennan, I could see them looking to at some point get the chips in. They are both below 20 big blinds, so
Right.
Kyle's stack is 18 big blinds, and Brendan's actually right about the same.
Right. Now, I know they're okay, so we just see a call here. I know they're both short. It's just a matter of, are they gonna loosen up and just get it in, or are they gonna stick to playing solid? We'll see. And we get a raise here out of Brendan. I think Brendan actually dealt to me one of the times I was playing at Encore. He definitely looks familiar. I've only played at Encore a few times. I love it there. It's great.
Yeah, the poker room was nice, but from a service perspective, the level of service there didn't meet what they have at Wynn in Vegas.
I know you mentioned that. It's funny that you say that too. I think it could be a little better. I was ordering food one time, and it took like 30 to 45 minutes just to get a menu, and I was like,
Yeah,
but I mean, whatever. It wasn't a huge deal. It's not a restaurant. They don't have to,
But those are their.
I was the dealer mentioned and said, that we had switched out dealers, and I was like, he's like, didn't you order food the last time? And I was like, I'm still waiting on a menu. It's like, okay.
So here we go.
But,
7 of spades comes on the turn. That brings a possible
flush. Did we have a flush here? Or do we have ace something? It is so much easier to comment on poker with a whole card showing.
Right.
I don't know. I just noticed that. I mean, you can assign ranges, but it's just like, it's a lot easier to get in people's heads with knowing what their cards are to see what they're doing and thinking. I will say, I love the steak tips at Encore, and I love the giant cookies.
I haven't had either. I had the salad at Encore in the poker room.
The steak tips are like $10 for the thing. It's so affordable.
So the salad was, I would say basically it was twice as much as you would pay for a salad at Panera and not as good.
Right.
And Paolino won a tournament today. Congratulations to him. So maybe he can pay me the $433 he owes me now. But
you should screenshot for proof for the court that he has money.
Yeah, actually, I have a ton of proof for the court that he's got money. So he's gonna have a fun time before the judge. But with regard to the Encore food, right? Oh, here's a pretty decent raise here.
Now here's an interesting one. And yeah, I don't want to get it.
Although, I mean,
about this,
I gotta say, if you get it in here, big stack against big stack,
that's ICM suicide. That's crazy.
Yeah,
ace king. Yeah.
Ace king.
So about the Slice lawsuit, you got judgment for like what was it, $500, $600 or something?
So the judgment amount was $443.93.
Okay, so like I said, $500.
Paolino, he has paid 93 cents.
Nice. So yeah. What was the amount when you did? Now you went to court. He didn't show up, correct?
Yeah, and actually, I went to court twice, and
Okay, so
he didn't
what was
show
the
up.
amount that you were seeking in damages when you went to the court?
So originally, when I went to court, I basically went for the maximum, which was 10,000.
Okay, and they ruled that you were due $440 based on what?
So basically, the judge looked at all of the evidence. The identity theft statute in New Hampshire, what he did in terms of impersonating me to have my results deleted from Hendon didn't hit the level of essentially offense to fall under that statute. So because of that, I was only awarded a reduced amount, which was actually obviously less because you don't have the full. It's not like the statute I was looking at was identity theft. It was a $5,000 maximum, and then it's double damages, right? So that brought it to 10K. But basically, the judge issued the judgment. He had 30 days to pay it, and he didn't pay. But he got really lucky because of COVID. They extended all the court deadlines.
We see a call here with the small blind, big blind.
So,
I mean, all trolling and jokes aside, I think it's interesting that you actually got a settlement out of it. So,
yeah.
Trolls aside, you had a case clearly in the court of. Okay, we see a pot brewing here.
Yeah, and it's the
Four
big
spades
stack.
on
It's the
board.
big stack too.
Don't love a bet here unless he has it.
I mean, yeah, if you have the ace of spades, you're going to want to bet that, right? But
well, yeah, if you have the nuts, you might want to bet 10 or queen too. Heads up, any spade here should be good.
And this, I mean, Chris could be thinking here because he had a spade. No, he doesn't. He's got the king.
No. That king could be good. Top pair can be good heads up, but with that side, ooh.
Oh wow.
I mean,
shows that he only had the king as well. No spade.
I don't love that bet by Kevin because he has showdown there. Obviously he was beat, but it would really suck to bet there and get raised. Oh, we see a pot here. Wow.
And this is Kyle all in uncalled. Here we go. Jack against ace 4 off. And you got Kevin almost drawing dead here. Dead.
Well, essentially. That was dead.
Wow.
So here's a good point.
Kyle's now
like we were talking about, Kyle gets a hand, he doubles up, he's got 500. Now Kyle's in the position that it's not good news for Brendan, He's thin. Carl, your thin comment, is that referring to Kevin's bet on the river being thin value? Because it's super thin if he's going for value with a king and expecting king called by worse. It would be cool to get this going. I think there should be commentary on these final tables and stuff. I think it brings an interesting. And I mean, there's viewers, so there's obviously some demand for it. I don't know. I think it's a good idea.
It definitely does. One of the things that I'd like to see is Encore or even some of the New Hampshire rooms look at doing final table strips.
If I ever had a big win in poker, like a 6-figure or 7-figure win, if I win the 150K tomorrow in the Millie. I would. I mean, okay. Before we get into that, we see Brendan pretty much committed himself here, which is kind of gross.
I mean, yeah. Wow, he folds.
I mean, if he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it. But that's a bad bet on the river because. I mean, it's not a bad bet if but he's got to go with his hand at that point.
Right.
If he's going to go with
the nuts there, it's a good bet. But if you don't, and Chris says I'm echoing again, which I think might actually be true.
It sounds fine for me. I don't know.
Well, what's happening is when I speak, it's coming out of your speaker and back into your mic.
All in right now. And he's out, and we have a 3-way, so we might see a renegotiation here. And I think this is where it gets done. I think they're going to come to terms here and call
Brendan's out. Collects $2,500. That means that we've got 13,500 left in the prize pool. The chop value is now 4,500. Granted,
Yeah,
they're
they're not
probably
going
not
to
going to
equal
even chop.
chop still, I don't think. The back to your point of live streaming, it's expensive to get live stream tables, but I think of Live at the Bike. Are you familiar with Live at the Bike? The West Coast streams, they do cash games and tournaments.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the East Coast should have a representation. Either a Live at the Bike East and branch it through them, or just have someone else. I mean, obviously, I can't afford that. That's a huge expense to start a live streaming company like that. But I think it would be cool to have, whether it's Foxwoods or Encore, or I feel like Borgata might be the best because they have the $3,500 WPT. They have the biggest tournaments. They have the best room, and they're centralized to New York, Pennsylvania. That you might
is
be
a
able
good
to
one
run
here. So
a 25-50 or a 50-100 or a 100-200 game like they run in the West Coast, and have Phil Hellmuth fly in for a weekend and stuff, and get things like that. And I think that'd be really cool. Would love for it to be Foxwoods, but definitely not happening.
So
Seven deuce, probably not calling there. So do we see any chop talk here?
well, no, but what happened is when when Brennan went out, he goes, Kyle, I hope you finished fair. Good night. Kyle says rude, and then he's said he's joking about it. So I guess it was all a little fun trolling here. So with the stacks here the way they are, let me just see here.
Again, I don't. I think if anything, even though the stacks are not, equal. What do we got? 450s. I mean, I don't think we're going to see any kind of equal chop. But if we do, it's just going to be the fact that everyone is pretty deep, and I don't think they want to continue playing. I'm curious, though, at this point where Kyle kind of was in that nothing to lose attitude before, and I say attitude lightly, I don't mean it like he was being a dick. If he's ready to grind, if he's just ready to take this thing out, he's got, a little bit of momentum, and,
and he's got, in terms of big blinds, he's got 28, Kevin has 42, Chris has 50 big blinds. And
okay, yeah, so there's a little discrepancy. I can. We see when you see aces. Okay, that's a good hand. Three-handed.
That's probably good.
We see no chop talk. I'm surprised. I thought once they had mentioned it before. When we got down to 3 and 4-handed, they were going to start discussing more. But maybe they're fired up now that the end is in sight. And
and then
Danielle chiming in. Joking.
Yeah, I mean, he said LOL quitting, but
it sounded like he was joking about the comment. And Danielle brings up Playground Poker Club, does it in all the big events, Montreal. Yeah, I've heard Playground. Matt, you've been there or no?
I actually have. So I had a couple days to take off work at the end of the year. I said, you know what? I'll go to Montreal, hang out there for a bit. Oh, there's a poker tournament too, so I'll go fire at that. And I actually cashed the Grand Prix Canada, which was it was a huge field tournament. That poker room, it doesn't look the nicest, but it's actually got pretty comfortable seating, great dealers, strong food program, and the food is super cheap. Like you can get a cheeseburger and fries, good quality, is like $8 Canadian. So it's like paying $5.50. And all of the drinks were free if you're playing in a tournament there too. So they're not all of the drinks, but like anything that's not like super premium, right? So like Heineken, Molson, whatever. And then let's see here.
Brendan wasn't joking. Easy.
I mean, he said LOL kidding, so. But in any case, so I mean, slice.
In all fair, if we have a raise here. So what are the values now for third, second, 62, 50, 40?
Yeah, 6250, 4250, and then 3000 for up top.
3,000 for third?
For third, sorry.
Wow, I'm sure those are good jumps. I'm surprised. So Slice says Brendan wasn't joking. The bitterness is real, and it's like, I mean, Slice should know busting out of tournaments isn't fun. Maybe he was pretty bitter. Maybe but like at the end of the day, you say fuck off, and then you say nice hand, and it is what it is. So
pocket eights there from Kevin. So
yeah, pocket eights and monster three-handed. Kevin continues to chip up. I'm surprised almost to a milli, 2 overs. Wow, how do you fold?
Well, I mean, I feel like at this point you might see a chop when they get down to the final 2.
Yeah,
yeah.
If Kyle goes out, I could see a pretty much equal chop between Kevin and Chris happening. I could definitely see, because at that point you locked up a nice payday and food is free. All cash games, Danielle said. Food is free?
Right. So at Playground, cash games, they get food complimentary. Tournaments, they don't, but the menu is really affordable. And the food was actually a good quality because I was in a 2-day tournament, right? So I ended up being there for it was like lunch and dinner one day and then lunch the next day. So I tried like a burger, pizza, I tried like a soup and salad. All of them were great. And then they also have like a room, it's like a slot parlor room too over there. So like if people during break want to go fire at the slots, they can. Sean Morris says, can you cross the border anymore? Right now is a.
I mean, we can't even leave our house. We got a pretty big pot here, Matt. 2 chip leaders going at it with 3 diamond board.
A raise here from Kevin. So then the question is, does he have it or is he just drawing?
I don't think he would be bluffing at this. Wow, he just open force jacks. I hope he shows a bluff.
Well, I
show
can see
Kevin. Kevin, show a bluff.
He did bluff. He did bluff. Now
Kevin's gonna play more poker. I like this guy. Not even just because Kevin just goes for it. Wow. 5-4 off. We'll see if Chris reacts to that showing 5 high. It's funny. Remember I said that earlier. If somebody's going to show a big bluff, Kevin gets it done.
Yeah. So if the crossing the border, right, it's restricted right now. Obviously due to COVID, but hopefully at some point this summer we see tourism get back open between the U.S. and Canada. There is a ton of tourist traffic between the two countries. They'll obviously both benefit. And Playground, again, they're closed right now, but they are hoping to get back open at some point. They are also running a lot of online stuff because in Canada, online poker is fully legalized and runs.
Right.
Paleo, sick troll that I ate a salad because apparently he is unaware of the fact that people eat salad. I don't.
Yeah. It's interesting. You're talking about in regards to Playground opening. My buddy is down in Texas playing full ring poker right now, and I'm surprised with all the talk of the 4-handed poker. There's not talk that Texas has at least one, if not multiple rooms open playing, as far as I know, full ring poker.
Yeah, Texas is an interesting state because basically the people there have this attitude of, hey, the government's not going to tell us what to do. We're going to do what we want. And basically that's how they roll. So if people want to come play full ring 9-handed poker,
we have an all-in.
Go ahead, and if you die of COVID, so be it. No, that's not an all-in. That's just a raise.
Well, no. I'm saying if he's not going to call, he's going to jam or fold.
All right. Okay.
And he folds.
But
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I'm interested to see what happens because I'm in the boat of I'd rather be cautious of everything that's going on. I haven't even really left the house. I was out in the yard today, and that's like the most I've really gone out. And Rich, are you talking about Doug? Yeah, actually, Slice, I am talking about Doug. My friend Derek has been playing with him in that room. Yeah, Doug's a good guy. I've known Doug probably 5-6 years now from when I started at Twin River, and yeah, he's out there grinding. Had a good night last night, but
So
yeah,
here,
you know, everyone's super cautious with all of the COVID stuff, which is great. But I'm also in the boat of, if they're playing full ring, nine-handed, if this room sees an outbreak, or if all systems go, maybe
right.
we can return to poker sooner.
So
I'm
something
not.
that I've suggested is the rooms all have camera systems, right? So they know, they can know who was sitting at a table of somebody on a given day. So I think what they need to do is look at,
Kevin and Houston is tricky.
anybody who comes into the facility. What they should be doing is saying, "Hey, we need to collect basically your name, your phone number, and your address." And then
It
if
sounds a
somebody,
little like Big
it sounds
Brother-ish,
a little
but
Big Brotherish, but the concept is,
yes.
if somebody at that table is positive for COVID, everybody else who was at that table, you'd give them a call and say, "Hey, this guy you were playing with was positive. You
Seems
might
like
want
a
to
lot of
consider getting
work instead
tested."
of just putting out a press release. I don't know.
Well, because so the thing is inevitably it's going to happen, and what that concept is, it's called contact tracing, right? So
Yeah.
that's what Singapore, South Korea did really well to get this underway. If somebody came in contact with somebody who was positive, they basically knew, hey, this person's positive, I got to get tested. And there's different, Apple and Google are working on a product for that, but the simplest way is you're essentially manually saying, all right, we know this person was positive and we're calling people who are. So we have
Another pot for Kevin. So Kevin's crushing it. Absolutely. We see a
he's
comment
got
from
double.
Carl. He says Texas poker looks interesting. Room charges hourly for raking games are super splashy, from what I understood. Never even been to Texas, so I can't speak fully on that. But from what I know of Texas, I don't believe there are any. We see this could be all in here.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here. Kyle's all in. There's no way he's folding. Ace
Queen's
10.
against
Oh,
ace
wow.
10. So, Chris has to draw here to win.
And he holds
Draw
up.
does not come. And
So Kyle, like we said, Kyle is going for it.
yeah.
Back to Carl, says Texas poker looks interesting. Room charges hourly for raking games are splashy. I believe Texas is all card rooms, no casinos, and I do believe they charge hourly. And yes, the games are super, super splashy.
Yeah, that's why. So people who live in
Not
say the
from
Dallas,
firsthand notice, but we see a.
we see an
Wow,
all-in
this
from
could be.
Chris here, and he
We
is
see a
called,
call.
and he is ahead here with the pair
Drawing.
of sevens, and the draw
Wow.
does not come. So Kevin now knocked back a bit as.
And the stat, we might see a little chop talk soon. They could figure out he doesn't like that I'm a massive man. He spews off a bunch of money to me. Slice, 100% agree with you. Doug is a maniac, and I love him dearly.
Yeah. And then, by the way, so Andrew here, who happens to be my brother, he is chiming in to say everything's bigger in Texas, including COVID-19 numbers. No, bro, you are wrong. That is not the case, actually. So, if we were to pull up the old Johns Hopkins COVID map, we will actually be able to see that Texas had a lot less cases than.
Oh wow, a raise on the river.
Yeah. So if we look at the U.S. map here,
look at a three-way chop. How much, Matt? What's a three-way chop? How much what's that? I think that could be happening.
Even chop, or
I don't know.
Well,
maybe
even chop.
The chop is.
Sorry, three ways even would be 4,500 each.
Maybe not.
But if we look at the worst places for COVID, right? Cook County, Illinois; Queens County, New York; Kings County, New York.
Wait, Illinois?
Yeah, Cook County, Illinois;
It's
Chicago.
worse than New York City.
One county. So New York, because remember, New York City is I think 5 counties, right? Queens County, Kings County.
Oh, okay. So they count it.
Bronx
So
County, New York County,
capita
Staten Island.
person,
Yeah.
It's. I haven't even heard of that place. I've never seen anything on the news about it. Nothing. I mean, I try not to watch too much because.
But basically, if you look at this map, which I'm keeping it small so we don't cut out all the action, but the darker areas are the worst areas, right? And New York, New Jersey, is awful and dark. This area around New Orleans, but Texas is actually not too bad aside from a couple counties near Houston. So saying three-way chop with Kevin getting extra money, extra $250. I don't know if Kevin's going to go for that necessarily here, but
no, I think he's ready to. I think I don't know.
But again, if we plug the stack sizes into the ICM calculator, which of course every hand that stack size changes a little, but so if we plug this into the ICM calculator, so we get.
Here's an interesting. Here's an interesting proposal. They said make it 55, 45, 35, and play it out.
And Paolino, by the way, admits he's a massive nit. It's pretty much true, although he does like to call light sometimes. So, and Corey chiming in that there's 13.5K in the pool, which is indeed correct. All right, so Chris just proposed 5,500, 4,500, 3,500. Kevin says yes, and Kyle says yes. So they may have a deal here. So,
I don't think it's a deal. I think
there's a deal.
No, I think that's the new prize pool, and they're playing it out.
Oh, okay. I got it. So they just restructured the prize pool. All right. So
what was it before? 3, 42, 50, and 60. So basically, they
took some money off top.
They took $750 off top, added 5 to third, and $250 to second.
Yep. And that balances it a little bit and gives you a $1,000 pay jump on each one. The chop value is still the same if they were to decide they wanted to chop later on.
I'm curious why they wouldn't just chop 45 each and meet in the middle. I guess it makes it more interesting that way to have something to play for. That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking. I played the 109 milli on ACR yesterday, since it's almost 2 a.m. or whatever. And on one bullet, I bagged up for day 2, and tomorrow or later today, playing for $150,000. So.
Now, what do you think about the rumors or kind of the talk out there that ACR and Poker Stars and these Poker Bros, that these apps are rigged for action?
Man, I don't know. Like, whether it is or it isn't, like, people are still gonna play them. I've fucking put money on ACR more times than I can count. Like, I've hit big and I've lost big, so it's like I personally hate online. I don't like. Let's see what. Oh, speaking of a pot,
and Chris ships.
Kyle's been raised folding though, so I don't know if he's calling.
And if he's picked up on that, the raise folds, he might figure
he does have covered. There is that.
Down.
It's not a snap fold, so he's definitely got a real decision. Well, in theory. And takes it down. As far as the rig thing, man, it's just like I feel like people think online is rigged as like a scapegoat, to when they lose, because I do it too. But it's like, at the end of the day, you're gonna go back, you're gonna deposit, you're gonna play again. Like, even like when we're sitting in these games and people are like, fuck ACR, and then the next day they're playing on it. So it's like, well, is it really fuck ACR? Thanks, Carl. I appreciate it. I'm hoping to get a nice payout tomorrow, but I'll probably get like 300, which is still cool. You'd see things that you play. The thing is, like, it is true. Like, when you're playing online, you're mostly multi-tabling. You're playing 3, 4, 5, 6. Some people 26 tables at a time. I can't do more than 4, man. I can't. But
so is Corey? Corey is, I think, on our stream trying to jump in. I think maybe not.
Oh, for real? All right.
Let me see. Corey, let me see if I can add him in. Hey, Corey, you there?
Bro, I've been sitting backstage for like an hour.
Oh, I didn't realize that. All
Feel
right,
free to chime in at any time.
so welcome, folks. The chairman of Float the Flop Poker.
The
So Corey, what
chairman,
do you think?
so official.
Yeah, what do you think about the action here? 3 ways going on between Kyle, Kevin, and Chris.
I'm surprised it wasn't done about almost an hour ago, actually.
Yeah, I
think-
mean,
It got to the point where like the two short stacks had like roughly 300K, and then Debo had what, like 600, and Chris had like 4 or 5 or something like that. Literally one big hand.
that's how it be.
You're done. Like, but people like to play too. And I'm not sure about Kyle not being a poker player, because I feel like I've seen him at
Kevin
Hampton Falls
isn't.
before.
Kevin
Oh,
Debo
Kevin,
said he
okay,
doesn't play. I don't know who
all right.
Kyle is.
All right.
Oh, look, all in.
Oh boy.
And Chris is going to be gone here.
Wow.
And we're heads up, and they're quite close in stack size, right? So
yeah, this could be chopped right now.
So
chop it up, boys. 5K each. Just saying.
So the chop value is exactly 5,000 for an even
chop
chop
it up.
here.
I can call it. I got 50 bigs. Although I even though I said I'm rooting for Kevin, Kyle had a fucking hell of a comeback. Yeah. Boom. There it is. 5K each.
And that is game over. So
great game,
right.
Kevin. Great game, Kyle. I hope he calls him, and then he's just like, just kidding.
No, it's done.
6-9. All right.
So yeah, that was some good game.
Oh, the trophy though, right?
Yeah, this chop makes sense right here. I mean, they're so close to stacks. So for folks who didn't get a chance to play today, Corey, what's coming up for them to play from Float the Flop?
It's looking like we got our normal weekly schedule going on this week, but it looks like next Monday will be a Memorial Day event for sure, something special.
All right, yeah, it's I almost forgot we had a holiday weekend coming up because
Kevin wins
with the whole COVID thing, having not commuted to the office in now 9 weeks. You almost forget that there's holidays coming up that normally people would be planning vacations and everybody's kind of stuck at home. So
yeah, no, with the nice weather coming up too. So
yeah, people might want to hit the beach if it was only open. So again, Kevin DiBattista wins this tournament tonight. Kyle coming in second place. We'll probably wrap the stream up in a couple minutes now that this is over. But Rich and Corey, anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap up?
When are we gonna get some Omaha? We need some not high low. We need Omaha.
Matt right now is the mixed game master, so that's on him.
So Matt, let's. I mean, not tomorrow, but like, I think we should have a day for weekly Omaha. But what we should do, we should try to figure out a rebuy too somehow. Because like,
not a good idea.
It's administratively challenging with stars, but
Matt, why don't we sit? Well, whatever. I think a $25 Omaha to start out, because everyone would play it and they would just gamble 4 cards and it'd be great. It'd be fun, just cheap. They don't have to make it 50 or 75 or 100. Just $25 Omaha. Everyone will play it. It'll get at least 50, 60 people.
Oh, that probably would be pretty popular, right? Because the people who are new and are like, yeah, I'll take a shot at it. And would try.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing with Omaha. It's 4 cards, so everyone thinks it's just. I mean, obviously there's skill to it too, but like at some point it's $25. Fuck it, just you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. I don't like pineapple though. That game's boring. That's not enough. Like if you're gonna do it, do Omaha, but.
I think also pineapple. I don't even think is available in Stars.
All right, well, there you go. So what's this? Somebody messaged.
So, all right. And so for our audience, any final questions for us? Anyone? Get them in.
If you hear me chomping, it's because I'm eating Skittles.
Nice. Tasting the rainbow.
With the wild berry, they're the best.
Yeah, I'm down, man. I'm down to do this live stream anytime. I make Final Table sometimes. So when I'm not Final Table, or even if I am, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Well, so you could actually do you could actually probably stream while at the Final Table, because I think Alex Lacoste has done that before. He switched streams while he's
Yeah,
playing.
I hope he puts a delay on because
Yeah,
I don't think
he
he did.
does a
He does.
5 minute delay, and I
Yeah.
Oh,
think
he
there's
does
actually
put
a
the
way you can
delay
hide
because
your
like some
cards.
people don't put delays on their fucking streams and like.
Yeah, and that's the one gap with StreamYard. You can't delay here, so I'd have to figure out how to get OBS set up or something like that to do it.
I like
Do it
it
on
in the
Twitch.
moment though. Like for this is good because it's in the moment. Like if I was like streaming it like with being on it, I wouldn't be like, oh, I got kings right now, and then the guy's like, oh, okay, you know,
Yeah.
like that'd be different. But yeah, man. Yeah. Shout out to everyone. It seems like how many does it tell you like a total viewers?
Right now, there's 12. Once we end the stream, there will be some analytics that I can look at to see like what the peaks were and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, 12 viewers is good. So that final table was about just over 2 hours and 20 minutes long. So if anyone's wondering, that's good. And Kevin just chimed in. Yeah, Kevin, great game. Well played. Could be
Yeah,
a
well
bluff
played.
that he doesn't really play, but he played that one
Somehow,
good.
I feel like he's played poker before the last 2 months,
Yeah,
but
maybe we'll see. Who knows? All right, man. I'm gonna get some sleep. At some
Yeah,
point,
good
we'll
luck
get the
tonight. Good
hopefully
luck
big
tomorrow, man.
ACR day tomorrow. And thanks everyone for chiming in, and thanks for inviting me, Matt.
yeah, thanks everybody. Have a good evening, everyone, or good night, or whatever time. It's what is it? 1:40. Yeah, good night, everyone, because I'm
Go
going
to
to bed
bed.
soon. Yeah.
All right.
Later.
All right.
Well done, Matt.